Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another episode of Cities Skylines 2. I've been a fantastic and amazing day today. I was going to do some new residential area up over in this base because we have this really nice, pretty flat land over in here. You can see up here that this is pretty nice and flat. So what I was gonna do is hook up an intersection up over in here and come off the highway and start working on a little neighborhood over in here. But I noticed that we don't have any money. So one way that we can make money pretty easily, what I have done over in here is I have designated 3 districts. So we have Aspendale here, and then we have Pinewood Peak right there, and then we have our valley towns. This is the first one we had before. The thing to do over in here, we're going to see how much of a difference this makes. So we currently are losing about 8,000 an hour. So let's see what happens here. What we're going to do, we're going to turn on roadside parking fee. So this is going to make people have to pay to park on the road. Pretty simple. We're going to throw speed bumps in as well. And then let's go for Pinewood Peak. Do the same thing, the roadside parking fee. And we'll encourage recycling. We'll do some speed bumps in here and energy consumption. And then let's go for the last one here, Aspendale. Same thing. Get those guys going like that. I'll take speed bumps out of this area. This is the big area, so we'll just leave it as it is. So we'll see, give it a little bit of time here, and we'll see if our number changes at all, and by how much. I'm trying to avoid getting a loan out here, and another good way to get a good chunk of money is when we level up. So we're pretty close to that. We, of course, need a ton more low density over in here, and we put in this whole deal last episode. We're expanding like crazy in our low density stuff, but I just can't seem to keep up with it. So hopefully this will turn our budget around here, so we'll see what happens. Another thing I want to look at is exporting some power. We are producing enough, but not quite enough to be exporting a good amount. So this is another really great way to be making money for your town, is exporting your power to the other places. So you can see we got a power line going like this, and we just do that by running that up to the edge of the map there. So let's see what that's going to all entail. I do really like being green and not polluting everything, so I'm very partial to the wind turbines. They're kind of expensive and they don't really put out a ton. So let's see what we can do here. Do we have a nice area? We do have a pretty decent area right in here. These are all 5 megawatt wind speeds, so that'll do pretty good for us. So let's see what we can get going on here, and we'll get a couple of these guys going on, and hopefully we can produce a little bit more excess power and export that for a little bit more money coming in. That would be really great. So let's do 6. I'm going to kind of do like a little wind farm over in here, and of course we need to tie everything together. We're going to grab our electric cable and go to the base, connect. Just going to kind of move up like this, and let's see if we can connect to the road. Sometimes this is a little tricky, but you can see as we come up over in here, there is a connection now to this road. So we'll go ahead and do that. So now our windmills are contributing to our grid. So we're just going to go ahead and tie in the rest of these. I think I'll just do something like that. And then that's everybody. Okay, so now we should be making a little bit more power and exporting a little bit more. You can see that that jumped pretty high. Another thing that we can do while we're here is do a little bit of upgrades with some solar panels. And then we also have advanced rotor system. Upgrade systems allow for a significant increase in power output. It looks like it's up to 2.5 additional megawatts. So let's go ahead and we'll do that and upgrade these buddies. All right, so we have the rotors in all 6 of these guys, and hopefully that will help benefit us in our electricity trade here, getting a little bit more money coming in, hopefully. Okay, so we got the ticket prices implemented. We're exporting a little bit more power. What else can we really do? We're really close to leveling up, so that will give us a little chunk of money here. And I'm noticing we have no vehicles going on this line. Let's see what's going on here. Let's take a look at our transportation overview. We have our tram lines. Okay, it looks like we have remembered to reduce the tram numbers on everything, which is good. Sometimes if you get a really big tram line in and you don't reduce the numbers, that's where all your trams are sitting. So let's see what's going on here. This looks like it's the purple line here at line 1. Let's see what's going on here. Is it just sitting here? Is that the problem? So I've noticed this happening in my other town, especially with trams. I think it's a, well, I really hope it's a bug. They just sit here like this. Like there's nothing that's blocking this road there, and the other tram's just sitting here, and it just causes problems. And the only thing that I've seen that does anything, I wouldn't even call it a fix, is if you pop in a roundabout, you see, oh, the game updates, everything moves, And then if you just go ahead and remove that roundabout, of course, then you get back to how you were. Okay, so now this should be back and operational, maybe? Yeah, so something goofy with that. I'm not sure what the scoop is. Let's put in a little road there to connect this. But another thing that I'm really trying to focus on as I'm building towns here is more connections to areas. So this is a really great example. So you just saw that I just connected this, right? Well, this is what we had. So this is the one space where people can get into this area with the exception of this. And this is a pedestrian bridge, which doesn't even look like it's connected over in here. So that might not even be working to how it should be, but we do have people on there, so I think it's okay. But anyways, this was the only way in. So it's gonna get crowded. It just makes sense. If it's the only way in, it's gonna get crowded because everybody wants to go here. And it's a stoplight on top of all of that. So stoplights, they make a big backup. As you could see there, as soon as the light turned, then everybody can move. Like even this intersection is just junky because they can't move. With this added in, that's going to give people another way to enter this little area. So hopefully that will help alleviate some of this. And this could also be affecting this little area too. And well, so with this light, there's light here. Yeah, lights just don't do it for me. They're just not great. Sit there and they just cause backup after backup. And roundabouts aren't that much better. So I really think that the ticket is just making more connections and making sure that people can come and go in more areas than just one. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna go put this guy as a roundabout. I can't because our parking lot's here. Let's scoot this parking lot over a smidge. Can we do that like right here? Okay. Now, does that allow me? Yes. All right. This should be better. It's going to allow people to be moving all the time, and then we are going to replace this one down here too with a roundabout. So hopefully this moves people around a little bit better, because obviously the lights just weren't working well enough. And you can see, yeah, this is moving pretty good in comparison to what it was. This parking lot right here might be causing some problems as well. As you can see, this right turn lane is all backed up, but I was just going to blame the tram, and then it took off. So I think that was a combination of the tram as well as this parking lot being right here. Maybe we kind of move it down even further. I don't know, somewhere in here, just so it's clear of this initial intersection. And then people can kind of fill in here a little bit more if that's what's going to happen. So we'll revisit this in a little bit. Let's see if it gets any better. We got to keep our eyes peeled for additional entrances. Could also be doing some like slip lanes or something to get more people, more options to get over there. But just something as you're building, think about that. Make sure you got lots of places for people to enter and exit your little areas. Yeah, and this one too is not a great intersection. Let's see if we can pop a roundabout in here and see if that helps us at all. We'll do a little one. Let's see what that does. I'm not sure how it's going to react, but we'll see. So like right in here, here's a good example. We could add in another little road right here just to connect this a little bit better. So let's grab our squiggle. I really like that guy. That should work. And I noticed that when you do these single lane roads like this, there's no controls. There's no stop sign. There's no yield signs or anything like that. No stoplight. So that seems to be a good way to do things. Look at this horde of people. I wonder if there was a tram that was there and let them out. So yeah, and the people crossing intersections like this is horrible. So yeah, a couple little things that I've noticed with traffic. You got to keep things moving, and if you can direct people, the pedestrians, away from crosswalks on intersections, especially busy ones, it should help alleviate things. Just like right there, you can see the people are walking across. The people don't care who are walking across. They'll run right in front of all these cars that are trying to move. We need to fix this little area. So what we'll do, it's not my favorite look, and I haven't really devised a really great way to make it better. And that's just going to be putting in some more of these elevated pavement paths for pedestrians. It just seems to be the way. And we'll have to do 30 feet, seems to be the ticket. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a little crosswalky thing here. And we'll be back in just a second when I got it all done. All right, so this is what I came up with. It's not elegant. It's not the greatest. And it's freaking huge. It's just kind of how it's gonna have to be for right now. You can see we got hordes and hordes of people coming over here to this tram stop. So hopefully this will help with our traffic a little bit. I can't do anything better with this pathway system. I tried to lower the elevation step so that it was like 15, and I can't cross the road at 15. 15 feet's just not good enough. So that puts us at 30. And then when you try to go back down to the 0 height, this is the slope that I could do. I couldn't do anything better. So that's as far as I could do, like the smallest I can do this pedestrian bridge, and it's just not ideal. It's not great, but I don't really know another way to go about doing it besides this little method. So now we have that taken care of. Let's knock that crosswalk out of there, and that's going to at least prevent people from walking over here for the most part. I've noticed that there are still people, see right on cue, they run across anyway. So I don't know if that's a bug, if it's just, I mean, people do that in real life too, right? They run across the road when there's plenty of traffic going all the time. Yeah, big mob right there. And I don't know if it's a pathing thing, like since I changed the path, since those Sims were trying to walk in that direction, if that's the problem. That's what we got going on, I guess. So another thing we could do, of course, is you can make this kind of like a square, and then you can do branches on all of the points of the road here. I don't want to do that. I don't really like the look of it. So that's how it's going to be, I guess. So we'll see. We got a couple of tram stops over in here, I believe. We should look at that while we have a second when we're talking about it. This is a yellow stop. So 91% usage. Let's check this out. Let's see what's going on here. No vehicle. Okay, so we have to take care of that. What do we got going on here? How many people are at each stop? We have 9, 6, 293. So that's the point we're looking at right now. Lots of people sitting there. So for the most part, there isn't a ton of people. A couple of these stops do have quite a few people though sitting there. So here's what we're gonna do. We need to get more trams. So we have two options for that. I think we did this already. Where is our tram stop? This guy right here. Tram people. Yes, we already have it upgraded. So now what we need to do is we need to make another tram depot. So here we're going to go ahead and go to our little transportation and go to tram depot. And, well, we have to build this thing while it's on the tram line, right? So this will work out pretty nicely. Just go ahead and we'll plop this guy right here. And that'll give us Gray Town. Excellent. 2.2 million we did get for leveling up. And I did notice that we seem to be making more money than this is telling us. So I don't really know what the scoop is with that. It seems kind of weird. We still have this big gap. We're working on it. We have taxation we could tweak a little bit, but this is all pretty high. We've done all this already. We've been in here. We tanked all these services budgets. We probably just need to work on some more production stuff and export some of that stuff. That would probably be good. We should also check on our trains in just a minute here. So we are getting some trams running out. You can see that right here. Sweet. And then let's also upgrade this guy while we're here. Okay, so now let's come back over to our little lines. So we've got, this is a yellow line, right? So I'm going to add in at least 2 more vehicles. And that should help reduce this blob action we got going on. More trams going by, picking up more people more often. The other thing that can hinder your trams, of course, is if they get stuck in traffic, as we've noticed earlier in the episode. So a couple things to keep in mind. If your trams aren't quite running how you think they should be, make sure that they're not just sitting in traffic because they can't do anything about it. So this seems to be operating a little bit better now that we got a couple more trams going, and you can see that our mob is dwindling a little bit, but this guy is full. So got a couple more trains running in there, and hopefully those people will get to where they're trying to get to here pretty quick. But we know that this is a problem intersection. Well, it used to be, at least. Looks like it's cleaned up pretty nicely now that we have the roundabouts in there. But what I was gonna say is we probably want to have another connection here. So right now, this point right here is the gateway to everybody who is over in this section, with the exception of the people who are going to hop on the highway to leave this little area. So if we can connect the main town over in here a couple more spaces, a couple more ways, like we did here, that'll help alleviate some things for us. So we have this pretty decent opportunity to connect right here, and this is a 2-lane road. So let's go ahead and we'll get this guy, just kind of tie it in just like that. That should be just fine. Let's put a roundabout in here. Keep that area moving. So we'll get another little connection here. You can already see that people are utilizing that, so that's wonderful. I will pop another roundabout right there. Okay, good. So we'll keep watching our traffic, and hopefully that couple little adjustments we've made here is going to help us quite a bit. Now, of course, going over the track, you're going to have this situation happening, but the trains are so fast, and there's really not that many of them running around right now. So I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Keep things moving along. Well, I say there aren't that many of them. We've seen 5 since we've been sitting here for 30 seconds. But there's a couple of things going on. But it doesn't look like it's hurting too badly over in here. So we wanted this to be kind of a commercial area, and it is developing that way. Let's change some of this stuff. We'll get a little bit of high density stuff going on in here. So we'll do like that. Get these to upgrade. It should sate our commercial demand pretty good. Plop that one in there like that. And then we do have some offices like we mentioned. Let's go over in here. We have, it looks like a couple of high density residential stuff designated. Let's replace that with some offices. And I'm also going to do some more offices like right here. And we'll just use a fill for that guy. So that should be plenty of offices coming in. Okay, great. And then we need some more industrial stuff. Okay, so let's take a second and look at our map. So one thing that I was doing on my other map, I was trying to move all my industrial stuff to the far side of the map. So I purchased like as much land as I could to move over to the edge of the map, and that's where my nasty industrial stuff is. Just blowing the wind, blowing all of the air pollution out off the map. And that seems to be working pretty good. It's a little bit of a transition, but it's not terrible. And I'm kind of thinking that I'd like to do a similar thing here. So I wanted to see, like, how do we get over in this space? That's going to be quite a while to get this land. And you know, we could probably just ignore that, and we can move all the way up in here. We can move all the way over in here. So yeah, I think this would be okay to continue to push our industrial stuff kind of on this side of the world. And then you know what we can do? We can also do in a sewage area over here, and then we won't have this pretty much bowl that I mentioned of sewage. Pretty much every episode I feel like I talk about that just because I don't like it at all. So what we got to do, of course, if we're going to do that, let's knock this road out of here, and then we're going to go back to our 4-lane road. We're going to grab this guy. We're gonna grab our squiggle. We're gonna go up. Let's see. We have 30 feet. This should be plenty. Drop it there. All right. And now we can just go ahead and we'll lay this out a little bit more. Get that guy started right there. Let's turn on contour line just because I want to see him. Yeah, so, okay. This is not very level over in here. That might be okay anyways. All right. We'll get it going like that. And then let's get a little bit of grid action going on in here. And we'll do grid, and we have our 2-lane road. And let's just kind of go, we'll go out pretty much like that. And we'll bring this guy over. Yeah, this is going to work great. All right, we'll do it like that. And then we could maybe do something back in here, maybe like a bigger building or something like that. But let's get our industrial zones going. We're going to kind of go like this. Couple of these guys rolling. And then we can even start to back off a couple of these areas, like this area right here. This would be a really nice light commercial area like we have right in here. Just kind of fill it in a little bit more. So I'm gonna back off a little bit of this stuff, so hopefully that will clear up and we can put some commercial stuff in there. And then of course it's just gonna get built up over in here, and these industrial buildings will just kind of fade away. The other thing you can do is get in here and demo them just for a little bit more quicker action. We'll get those guys out of there. And then we mentioned the sewage outlet. So let's grab one of those guys. And it looks like the water flow is in this direction. So this will work out pretty well for us. If we can get, let's go like right in here. Get one, we'll get 2 going. And then I just usually tie these in with a gravel road. So, okay, we got these 2 sewage outlets happening. Let's see what that looks like. The sewage treatment is okay. So let's go over in here. We should be able to knock the other one out. This guy. And now this will clear up over time. It's going to be a while because there's a lot there. But now the sewage outlets over in here should start doing the other thing. And then hopefully that sewage will just kind of move out into the ocean here and go away. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so let's see. We got our sewage treatment is still good even after removing that one. Okay, that'll work out pretty well. We can also consider another wastewater treatment plant. I think we have one of these. Yeah, right here we do. Great. So we do have that guy. We could put in another wastewater treatment plant over in here, but I think we're doing all right with that. We don't need to do any of that right now. Keep our eyes peeled on it, of course. Okay, so here's another opportunity for some slip lanes. So, of course, we could go over in here with a big old intersection and try and do it that way. But I think what we'll do instead, we're going to go over here, grab our highways. We're going to grab our 1-lane highways, do some slip lanes here. Okay, so we know this is on the right side going out, right? So what we want to do is, if we're going to be shipping some goods out, let's do a little connection here. We're going to grab this little intersection here and get it started, and then we'll start again, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to work our way to this little area. So I'm going to plop one more space right there, and then we're going to start again, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of merge these two roads together like this. So now what's going to happen is when the trucks and stuff are ready to roll out and they need to go to the highway, they can just go straight to the highway from here and just hop on and good to go. As opposed to getting on Garland Street here and driving all the way up here, and then they would have to go here and then turn left and come all the way down and go to the highway. So this saves quite a bit of time if that's all they have to do. So they just hop on the highway, good to go. So now, of course, what about the other direction? So what we could do is do another slip lane, kind of go in the same-ish area. The trick here is, though, we're going to need to go either over or underground. And I think we can go over this pretty easily. We'll go up to 30 feet. There we go. We'll bring her around town. And we'll kind of go like that. And then we'll bring it back down to 0. And we should be able to tie in pretty easily like that. Now, people coming from this direction can just hop right off into the industrial area if that's where they're heading. So pretty slick, pretty easy. The other thing that you could do, of course, is come from this bridge and kind of merge the road together and go like that. And that kind of achieves the same thing. So instead, now the people can just hop off here. Maybe the people work here and they live over on this side of the world, so they can just hop on the highway and get going really easily, pretty slick. And then we can, of course, go one more time for some slip lane action, and we'll just have one kind of work its way. We'll tie in right to this intersection right here, and that will work out pretty well for us, especially if we turn that to a little roundabout. All right, cool. So this is looking pretty good. We got a couple of connections. You can see you got trucks heading over there already. It looks great. So a couple little things there that you can do to help with some traffic things. Okay, so we have a stoplight over in here. So let's go ahead. We're going to turn this off. We're going to turn off, of course, the crosswalks. And then there's something else that you need to do over here, I think, very important, is we want to change this lane so that people can't turn left like that guy just did, because it blocks people. And if it gets busy over in here, it's going to be a big issue. So we're going to grab our no left turn, and we're going to say no left turn. And then you can see the road changes back into a solid double yellow. You're still going to get people who cut over sometimes, but now this is strictly a right-hand turn lane for the right side. And now the left can't worry about it. So this seems to be going pretty well over in here. Looks like we even need a couple more industrial spaces. So of course we can do that, and I'll go ahead and fill these out here. All right, 6 more little areas for some more industrial things, and we'll see how that looks in a little bit here as it develops. Oh, cool. We got a couple little areas coming together, and then this is still looking really good. So in this case, the roundabouts have succeeded in moving things around pretty good for us. The traffic is moving, the trams are moving along in the line. Let's go ahead and look at what we got going on down here where this problem was. Looks great. Look at that. And we solved our big mob issue as well. So people aren't hanging around waiting anymore. We got that fixed and looking great. So if we come back in our budget, you can see what people parking on the roads is accumulating for the town. And we have 62,720 money coming in from fees. So the roads are actually producing money for us, which is pretty crazy. So that's great. We're still in the negative. We're still losing money all the time, but it seems to be slowed down quite a bit. A couple little things here that we mentioned to help make a little bit more money. Let's see. Do I have a district over in here for this? Yes. Okay. So that's counted. I definitely want to throw a district over here and definitely charge some people for parking over in here. I'm not going to do it for the industrial area, the working space, just because, I don't know. I guess why not? Why wouldn't I do that? Maybe we'll do that in a bit here. So Victoria Field District, that's going to be our commercial area, kind of more of a high-risey looking area for right now. And we're going to go for a roadside parking fee. We'll just do the parking fee for now. Okay, and you can see some of these really cool, we go to our commercial zones, our high-density commercial. You can see kind of these like medium-sized buildings alongside our really tall, cool apartment buildings in the back there. Pretty neat. I really like these taller buildings. It really makes the place feel like a city. Got kind of these weird apartment things over in here. Probably want to upgrade this to high density just so that it fits a little bit better with what we got going on here. This looks kind of funny. So we'll upgrade this guy. It's going to look more like this, and I think that'll look better. Let's take a second and look at our trains, and let's see what these guys are exporting. So we should have quite a bit of stored things around here, and we do. We have some stuff stored up. Oh, but this is just acting as a storage space right now. We have no lines connected. Let's see. Cargo. Oh, no routes to show. Well, that was silly. Okay, so we can do that. We can go for our transportation. We're gonna find train. We're gonna find cargo railway. And let's get this guy hooked up. Start there, and then we're gonna come all the way. Let's go over in here, and we'll attach to this guy, and then we'll bring this guy all the way back down to here, and that should complete our line. Pause it, because it's gonna start deploying trains on us. We're gonna go cargo, assign vehicles 2, bump that down to 1. I think that'll be okay. And then I am gonna change the color. Let's go kind of maroony color like that. Okay, all right. Well, that should be our cargo trains delivering goods, and that should start to help with a little bit more money coming in. So that'll be really great to have all those things happening. It looks like we still have some office density zoning. So let's go ahead and let's get a little bit more of that happening. Got a little area over in here, so we'll fill that out a little bit more. Let's see if there's anywhere else we can expand this. We talked about making this area into a different light commercial area, and I think that's exactly what we'll do right now. Just kind of fill this in with some light commercial stuff. I think that'll be just fine over in here. And it looks like we have satisfied our office demand for right now, so that's pretty good. We'll get these guys going on with some low density commercial stuff in here. So cool. We got a couple of things going on. We got our districts defined a little bit better, trying to get a little bit more money coming in, and I think that'll be very beneficial in the long run for us. We've adjusted our nasty sewer situation, so we should get this polluted water out of here, especially because this is by homes. We don't want to pollute the ground around the homes, so we'll work on that. And then as we continue to expand, like we mentioned in the last episode, we will push our way up in this direction, and we can build nicely over in here. But of course, we have to buy the tiles in order to do that, so that's of course going to cost money. So I'm going to try not do that for right now. We can continue to work a little bit over in here for some more of that low density demand for housing, but I think we'll move over in here. We can grab these couple little spaces and work a little bit more in this area. Maybe that's what we'll end up doing. But for now, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Cities Skylines 2. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you on the next. Have a fantastic and amazing rest of your evening, day, or night.